Good evening, everyone. Great evening, actually, and welcome to the show. Tonight's title is Precious Darling Feelings, and a big thank you all for tuning in tonight. Um, First and foremost, for anyone who might be joining us out there for the very first time, just be sure to say hi in the chat so we know that you're here, and we do our first reading for free. So don't be shy. Just say something there so we know you're here, and I'll put you in line for a reading. Going forward after that, it's just $10 per reading, or you can do $100 and cover the entire month. So it's a pretty sweet deal there since we do the show 3 times per week. That's Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Arizona time. And yeah, now I've got a few words to say on the topic before I turn it over to Christopher tonight. So there are, well, I'll just say one of my favorite writers, Vernon Howard, spoke often about these precious, darling feelings that we all experience. Specifically about how people can unconsciously lock themselves in these unending cycles of misery and pain. And more importantly, how to break free from those unending cycles. And one great key that I was reminded of recently, there's a good way out of that, is an extremely simple fix. And it's as easy as just deciding differently about your why or your reason for doing things. First, you just find out why any kind of behavior or characteristic is in place. Like, why is that there? And that's not always the most comfortable thing to look at, especially for patterns that we might want to change that have been there for a long time. Now, a good example is like why people often pursue fitness, and that's specifically out of fear that they might not be attractive enough to either get or keep a particular partner, and because they're operating of that out of that fear, that's what their reality will be reflective of in various ways. And that's obviously true because we reap what we sow. Everything we put out, we get back in life. So making that tiny mental switch to work out in order to maintain a healthy body because you love it rather than out of that fear, it changes the energy completely. So why do anything? Why go to work? Why go to the store? To have enough to eat or to avoid starvation or to find all sorts of delicious things and have more than enough to live comfortably and enjoy this short time that is so precious that we're alive. Now, bottom line, I hope you all decide to operate more from a place of love in each and every moment. And thank you all for listening. Enjoy the show, and here's Christopher.
Thank you so much, Kenan. That was a great. I think the cameras. Hang on. I know you can hear me.
Sorry about that.
Okay, there you go. Here I am. Sorry about that. That was a great introduction. Thank you so much. So the other way to look at it, when Kenan says precious darling feelings, when these feelings come up, I can think of them as a baby. And a baby's crying. Well, it could be hungry, could need changing, could have a tummy upset, and you as a parent have to go, wait a minute, why is this baby crying? When you have these feelings come up, go, wait a minute, why is this baby crying? Where's this coming from? So one of the things I wanted to talk about is paying attention to these feelings, and it's an example of synchronicity. So, like when you have feelings come up at a certain time, You may not even be aware that you were glancing out of your right eye an hour before at a family picture. But there are things that happen that trigger us, so pay attention to them, because those are the lessons. Those are the life quizzes. They're quizzes that life gives us. Einstein said this: the intellect has little to do on the road to discovery. There comes a leap in consciousness. Call it intuition or what you will. The solution comes to you, and you don't know how, and you don't know why. Carl Jung said this: synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see it. So an example, last night in the show, it came up, I was reading for somebody that I encouraged them to get cloves. You can put cloves under your bed or by your bedside. They're very protective. And Marilyn, is Marilyn Pitts on tonight?
Yes.
So Marilyn texted me. She was laughing. She's like, Chris, she goes, I hate cloves. But just before the show, she got this special tea, and in the tea were these cloves. And she actually took 2 of them out and chewed them. She goes, I haven't done that, I don't know, in many, 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 many years. But those are like synchronistic events, and that's why a lot of this show is about or confirming synchronistic events that are important to pay attention to. For instance, what's the difference between intuition and synchronicity? Intuition, think of intuition as the road. It's how you live your life, especially those on the show. Yep, everybody on the show lives by this intuition. Synchronicity are the signposts along the road, if that helps you understand that better. So think about somebody, you're thinking about somebody and then they call you the next day or even that day, or you see them on the street. Most people know who Deepak Chopra is. Deepak Chopra told of this synchronistic event. He was an oncologist, cancer specialist on the East Coast. And Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, if some of you don't know who that is, that was the yogi to the Beatles. If you're familiar with the Beatle group, the group called the Beatles. And George Harrison, they spent a lot of time with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Well, Deepak Chopra got a call from Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, asked him to fly to Amsterdam. So he did. He flew to Amsterdam, met with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and this yogi's goal was to bring together Eastern and Western medicine and mind-body medicine. Well, Chopra, having been Western trained, was like, I don't know if that's going to go over in the U.S. And the yogi said, well, we will train you. He goes, well, can I think about this? So Deepak Chopra went back to the airport, went to Amsterdam to fly, to catch a plane home. And at the airport, he ran into his best friend from medical school. And his best friend had just been to a conference, a worldwide conference, that was melding mind-body medicine. The synchronistic event of that was really profound for Deepak Chopra, and it changed his life. It probably changed your life if you've read any of his books. I know I have. It's changed literally millions of lives, that one synchronistic event. And we've all had them. And it can come in the form of dreams. Lana? It can come in the form of just events or people, messages, bumper stickers, license plates, all in those forms. So that's the synchronistic event I want to talk about. And so when I pull a card, it's an example of when I pull a card for you, like I did the other day, last night for someone, and Marilyn got a really profound message from it. That's how this show works. So yes, I am pulling a card for you individually, but also for the whole group. Now I call this the group card, but before I get into that, let's light the incense. Let's party with synchronistic events. Let's have more synchronistic events in our lives. Let's have more signposts along our road of intuition. As life goes through, that's the fun part. That is knowing that we're being directed and that we're on the right path. Or when we get off the path, there are signposts for that too. So, the group card tonight. It's called Sacred Inner Space. Sensuality, spirituality. This has to do with the sacral chakra, which is just below the belly button. It is dealing with reproduction, or what we produce, not only sexually, but in our lives. And all the forms of connection, of communication that are connected with that chakra. So, how are we at expressing tender feelings? How are we at being vulnerable? And universe, show me now how I can appropriately be vulnerable. Universe, show me now how I can appropriately be vulnerable, and how we can express our innermost authentic self. That's the beauty of this card. And are you willing to reclaim any parts of yourself that have been disconnected or abandoned? That's what this card is sending you right now. To be able to reconnect any parts that have been disconnected or abandoned. Because, for instance, how can someone who does not believe they're beautiful bring beauty to their world? You see how important that feeling of beauty is to you individually, and how that expands out to bring beauty to the world? So are you willing to open up and release all the false narratives that are floating within your energetic field around things that are no longer true for you, or things that you've adopted that are not to your best and highest anymore? Release them from your energetic field. Okay. Great. Who's on first?
Laurel's first.
Laurel. It's nice to have you on first. Great job. Okay. And this is what I love about the cards. I can actually feel when one's about to come out. But sometimes I have to go through literally half a deck, 40, 50 cards before the right one comes out. Oh, well, two of them came out, Laurel. Synchronistic events. Okay. Fortune's wheel. Luck and right timing. Trust your gut, Laurel. When you have a job, they pay you every week, every 2 weeks, every month. Do you stay up nights worrying that you're not going to get paid the next payday? No. You don't even give it a thought. The universe has paydays for us. Oh, that's a good one. I got to write that one down. Your guide just gave me that one, Laurel. That was really, really good. The universe has paydays, okay? And it can be every day. It doesn't have to be every 2 weeks or every month. But your payday's coming up. That's what this card is about. And so you've got the next card, which is adaptability. Are you willing to let go of comparing yourself to your imaginary self? What I mean by that is, these constructs that can be put upon us or that we can accept as real. For instance, a Barbie doll figure. Most little girls I knew back in the 60s and 70s played with Barbie dolls. And how that is a construct for people to think that they have to look like that. So this is very similar to, let's say you have an oak tree, Laurel, and a bamboo tree standing side by side. The bamboo tree does not compare itself to the oak. The oak does not compare itself to the bamboo. You are your absolute own unique being. There is no one on the earth like you. Never will be. Never has been, never will be. This is about your ability to adapt. And like Kenan said, the precious darling feelings, realigning how you're looking at things. So I give you that power to be able to look at realigning your thinking and trust that the universe has these paydays coming up. You've had paydays from the universe. We've all had these amazing paydays from the universe, these inexplicable blessings. Even when there was tragedy or heartbreak or loss, there was some kind of growth. There was some kind of leap in consciousness. And are you willing to let go of comparing yourself to others or where you think or thought you should be in life by now? And let go of all of that and any of those constructs. That's the imagination that people put together, and then they beat up on themselves thinking it coulda, shoulda, woulda. I should have been here by now. Gosh, I'm 25 years old. I should be married and have 12 kids. Whatever that construct is, are you willing to let go of it and be adaptable? There's more freedom and adaptability, Laurel. Okay. All right. Who's next?
Jared and Kat are up. Now we're walking together.
Okay, Jared and Kat are together. That's awesome. I love you East Coasters being on early. Okay. So I pulled 3 cards. Well, I didn't pull them. Your angels, your guides pulled them, but here's the message. Most people know what a detox diet is, right? Or they'll drink detox tea, or they'll fast for 2 or 3 days. Or they'll work on their mental, they'll work on mantras, they'll work on, affirmations. Have affirmations everywhere. This card in particular, let me put it this way. If you get a new puppy, you know you're going to have to put down newspapers, Marilyn, Abby. You got to put down the newspapers. Because these puppies are going to go everywhere. There are people that are puppies, and if you let them in your house, you've got to put the newspapers down. Or just not let them in your house. You think of a wild dog that has fleas. You don't let them in your house. You clean up the dog first. My point is we have no problem thinking about a diet for detox. We have no problem thinking about, affirmations and mental, but these energetic toxins that can come from other people. Now, I'm not talking about first, second, and third grade where, the boys had cooties or the girls had cooties. It's not that kind of a game. But pay attention to the energy that are on other people. And be aware of who you invite into your house. Because some people have a whole litany of entities and spirits on them that you're inviting in as well. So that's why I have salt on my doorstep and in my garage. And when I lay the salt out, I go, nothing and no one enters here unless they're for my best and highest good. So that's that card. It's about a me talks, but take into consideration about who you're talking to and the feeling you get from them. Trust that feeling. And that was for both of you. This is treasures hidden in the shadows. So if I had not been through what I'd been through as growing up and experiencing what I experienced in a haunted house, it was very disturbing, very frightful. But I would not be here doing what I do today unless I had gone through that. So this is the treasures hidden in the shadows. And these are huge ahas coming and awarenesses of the things both of you have been through. And the benefits from them, the treasures. This is the kind of card that comes up where people get an inheritance from an estranged father. That type of a blessing, or an aha, or an experience. And then the last card for both of you, since 3 came up, So let's say someone's staying with you, and they don't have a job, but they put out their applications, they put out their resumes, and then their phone starts ringing, and they don't answer it. And you get upset. Cancel, clear, delete, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just giving you this as a metaphor, as an example. This is the refusal of the call. And you can't force somebody to understand something they're not ready to understand. Today I was on the phone with someone who was trying to reach a government office, and they were really, really, really upset because the office was closed because of a Jewish holiday today. And I'm like, Jewish holiday? She goes, yeah, Juneteenth. Juneteenth. That's what she thought it was. And I just kind of laid my head on the desk going, oh my gosh. And there's no way I could explain it to her. Like, I didn't even want to go there. I just let her believe that Juneteenth, June was a Jewish holiday. Okay. There's people out there that just don't get it, and be free of wasting your energy wanting them to get it. Bring your energy back. Come on, you guys. Come on. Bring your energy back. Anytime you've wanted somebody to get it, I don't care who's on the show tonight, who's hearing this, anywhere, you've wanted somebody to get it, bring it back. Bring that energy back to you. Keep it with you. Okay. Marilyn Pitts. Okay. Resourcefulness. So I don't know, Marilyn, if you've ever been out west here to Arizona and you've seen a saguaro cactus. They're huge, and they don't start getting an arm till they're about 80 years old. So they're very large cactus, and they're very old. And it's okay to keep your guard up. You know, like Star Trek, you know, when the Enterprise is flying, and when they're in space, they usually don't have their shields up, but they can put their shields up in an instant. This is you becoming more resourceful with your energy, so you have more energy available to you rather than going out hoping and wishing for something to happen or someone to do something. This is you bringing back your energy because what happens is when you put your energy out there and you're wishing or wanting for somebody, they feel it. And you know what they do? They resist it. They push back. So then you put more energy. They push back more energy, until finally you can be very drained. This is withdrawing all of your energy. This is what I was saying to Marilyn and Abby. Bring your energy back in. Be free of wanting or wishing for anything or anyone. And honor your gifts. Know you are beautiful. Because you're moving into something that is creating more beauty. Is a saguaro cactus beautiful? Yes, I believe it is. but I can't talk someone else into believing that it is. They may describe it as something else, as majestic or strong, whatever the definition is. Bring your energy back to you and use it for you. Then that sets the example. That actually draws other people into you. I hope that made sense. Okay, here we go. Hey, Lindsay Lou. What a great card last night. The kids were coming back. I hope they made it back okay. The first thing I got, Lindsay, that came to my mind is how much fun would it be? You know how they have those painting, wine drinking workshop things? How much fun that would be to actually do that and you teach art. Because then people pay for it. But you're doing something that you love, but at the same time, you're doing what you love for you. Okay? So this is your teachability, like your ability to teach. And you can't teach something that you don't know. And so it compels you to learn it even as you're teaching it. You know, people don't even, people don't know that they're artists, but they may not be Da Vinci's or Goth or whoever. Goth? I don't know my artists. You do. But what it does to help them be in that creative field, think about doing that just once a month. Just having a friend's night over and even have the girls involved to where it's fun for them. That would really help you get more back into the art. Just think about it. See how that feels to you. But this is about you moving into more of a teaching role. It could be with your job, but it's teaching. And so step up. Step up. You're a great teacher. Great teacher. Okay, well, good. I'm glad you've thought about starting it up. That's great, Lindsay. I love that. Okay, who's next?
Abby Maryland.
Abby and Maryland? No.
You did Maryland Pitts just now.
No, I did Abby and Maryland. Didn't I do Abby and Maryland?
You just did Maryland Pitts. It's Abby Maryland.
No, I did Abby and Maryland. Abby and Maryland, I did do you, right?
You did Jared and Kat tonight. You haven't done Abby and Maryland yet, I promise. I know the camera was off earlier. It's Abby and Maryland now.
Okay. But wasn't I talking to Abby and Marilyn about
It's okay.
Refusal of the Call and Will-O-Wisp and Me Talks?
That'd be Jared and Kat. They got 3 cards.
Oh, Jared and Kat got 3 cards. Okay, now I get it. I'm sorry. All right, so that was Jared and Kat. Okay, now Abby and Marilyn.
Yep.
Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you, Kenan.
Thank you.
So I'm going to stop right here for a minute because that's never happened before on the show. And so what I'm getting here is I hope everyone's paying attention to every card because there's some kind of big crossover going here with the messages that are coming through tonight. So I wanted to bring that up. Okay. So Marilyn, you're beginning a new project here, or a new endeavor. Don't look down. You know, you think about crossing this bridge, you don't look down. It can be a little scary because it doesn't have guardrails, doesn't have really anything to hang on to, but it's great for your mind. It's wonderful for your mind. It's healing for your mind. It opens up new pathways for the brain and allows the brain to siphon off what no longer serves it. So this is the crossing card. It's a new beginning for you. Step into it boldly. You know, I've talked about wanting to have some of you on the show, and hopefully this week we'll figure out how to do that through Zoom, and we can actually have Marilyn. Marilyn has been a minister with Unity for many years. Amazing woman. But this is you starting something new. Go for it. It's you've got huge safety nets. Like you've got nothing to lose. And Abby, this is experiencing life as it comes. So we talked about the universe giving you these gifts. You know, when you walk along the beach, you love it when you see a seashell or a sea creature or a dolphin or whatever it is, and you can be walking along the same beach and it be completely different every day. That's how your life is becoming, much more free and being able to see the blessings with it. Okay? So this is with you being the drifter. It's okay to be a drifter. It's okay to be undefined. Are we all safe and okay with being undefined? And be free of identifying who we are with what we do. Because if people define themselves, as you know, Abby, if they define themselves with what they do, it's just like, it's so narrow. It's like, it's so limiting. So or defining who they are by what they have or don't have. Or defining themselves by what they're going through. Well, you know, I must be bad, or gosh, life is just so unlucky, or allow them to thrash. Some people you have to allow to hit rock bottom. You just have to allow them to hit rock bottom. Because they and only themselves, only they themselves can make the changes. But it's sometimes very difficult to allow someone to hit rock bottom, but many times that leads to the change. Okay, I hope that made sense, Abby. All right.
Don Cox is next.
Hey. Yep, I did Abby, Marilyn, and Dawn, you're next. Hey, Dawn. Anywhere where you have believed that you should resonate with something or someone, can you let go of that now? Anywhere where you feel like you should resonate with something, and then kind of force the jigsaw puzzle piece into the area of the puzzle where it doesn't fit. Are you willing to allow it to come without going out and pushing it or forcing it? This is the whale song. This is taking a trip literally to the ocean. If you can book a whale excursion, man, how fantastic would that be? Because this is about resonating. This is about using this time to really tune in to dawn, and it's coming. Like it's there for you. 61 days. Or less. Use this time to resonate with dawn. Get to the water. And Edna, this is important for you too. You're watching, you're coming up with this idea of water. So I don't know if it's the Columbia River or it's the Spokane River. It's just a matter of going down and being with water. Water is it's very powerful for psychic abilities. So I'm getting this big time with you, Dawn. I'm getting a big time with Edna. Marilyn. You know what, Marilyn? I'm getting everybody. And you're safe and okay to allow yourself to go deep. Like deep into the consciousness, deep into the unconscious. And just allow things to come up that need to come up that no longer serve you. And remember that you survived them when they actually happened 10, 20, 30 years ago. And what's coming up is simply the memory or the feelings or the emotion. And they're coming up to leave. Because if you got stuff in your basement, crap in your basement, it's got to come up the basement stairs and out the front door to get out. So allow this stuff to sometimes come up because it's releasing. So this is a beautiful time for you, Dawn. Beautiful time to resonate with dawn, with source, with the universe, and be directed by that. Okay, here we go. Okay, Danny. It's called the Winter's Dream or gestation period. anywhere where you feel like you've been wronged, are you willing to forgive and let go? And this has to do with the group card tonight, which was the heart. And releasing all the false narratives floating within your energetic field. This is, rather than retreat into the shell like the snail, this is coming out that it's okay for you to be vulnerable. And anywhere there was never safe for you to be vulnerable, can you let go of that now? And be free of, and highly recommend you be free of creating the reason to go back into the shell. This is about you expressing tender feelings towards someone, no matter what they believe or what you believe about them, logically or illogically. And being able to express more of your authentic self without an energetic charge or without an expectation. This is about this gestation period of major growth coming on. Major growth. So what a great card, and what a great card for all of us. Okay. Okay, Hannah. Okay, my dear. First of all, this is called the first breath. Do breathing exercises. You can watch YouTube videos, but especially when you're singing, breathe. Do I don't know. I'm not a singer, but I'm seeing. I want to say do hours of breath work, but what I mean is do breath work. And anywhere where you have been taught that you have to know it all, are you willing to let go of that? Or that you had to survive, anywhere where you had to survive by pretending, Hannah, and it was appropriate. Like at the time that you had to pretend, that was good. That was important. It was appropriate. But it's no longer appropriate now. It doesn't fit you, where this is you moving more into your authentic self. So this is a lot like Diane's card. This is rebirth. It's like a first breath, a beginner's mind. So you're moving into something that you think you know, but you actually don't know. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. You're moving into something bigger and better. And because you didn't have the trust built up in yourself, you attracted people that were untrustworthy. That's no longer true of you. This is about getting a coach, getting a mentor, and allowing them to guide you. And not that you have to absolutely act on everything that they say, but don't respond so dramatically or right up front by going, no. Just say, well, that's really an interesting point of view. Let me think about that. Okay? All right. Okay, here we go. Who's next? Austin. So I don't know, Austin, if you're doing whitewater rafting or you want to do whitewater rafting or do the Grand Canyon whitewater rafting. This is something about so one of my clients, she's an Indian shaman, and she was half Hopi and half Navajo. And she was invited to go down the Colorado River rafting. So she did. And she literally had visions because the north part of the Grand Canyon is owned by the Hopi, south part is by Navajo. I may have that switched, but anyway, her point is when she went down, she had these both Hopi and Navajo elders appear to her, and I believe the Hopi do not believe women should be shamans, but the Navajo have no problem. Most of their shamans are women. And again, I apologize. I may have that confused or switched, but one tribe did not believe in women being shamans, one tribe did. So it's putting yourself into, and it could be literally, Austin, going down the river, taking a rafting trip down the river. But again, it's being on the water and enhancing this spiritual the spiritual connectivity or conductivity that lights you up. There's something with that. It's called the spirit of the river. And even if you're not going rafting, go sit by a river, like I told Edna, and it'd be really good for Lindsay too. Okay. The water's where you're grounded the most. Yeah, and I think it's important in the next week or so to go there, because you're going to get some ahas and some downloads. Okay. Hey, Lanny. Okay. Here we go. Is it okay to take some time off without thinking or talking about work? And I get water on this one too. There's something with you and the sound of running water, like waterfall. You know, I may have to call you on this one, Lana, but this is something about water spirits. You, you know, people talk about the spirit of a place. That's very, very literal. Like I, I do believe in fairies. I do believe in fairies. Fairies do exist because quantum physics. If something can be imagined, it has to exist. So there's something with you in the connection with water spirits. Never actually seen this before, so I don't know how to describe it. But again, everyone that I've talked about, this overflow of abundance. So what does that give you, and how do you spend it? What is important to you in the time that is left? Universe, show me now how to create more abundance, but it may not be just be money. Most people, when they hear the word abundance, think of money. It's not about money. It can be, absolutely it is, but it's more about this connection with spirit. And Pend Oreille being, that lake being one spirit. I don't know what this is. I'll call you. All right. Okay, Edna. Thanks for being here. Now, didn't you have with that other deck, you had the Fool card or the beginning card? So this is New Beginnings, but it's transmuting pain. Anywhere, Nanny, where you have any blame, shame, or guilt, are you willing to let go of that easily and comfortably now? And transmute the pain, as Kenan was saying, into something really positive. It's happening. You're already doing it. You're being acknowledged for it. And by the next full moon, you know, Lana, if you're open to that, I would love to have you meet Melinda and Edna. Those are Carl's daughters. And anywhere, Edna. Oh, God, here we go. And Lana can help with this, or Diane even too, but anywhere. Do you remember this story I told about the neuroscientist who got his degree, that he had to do a study, and he studied these rats, and he took a mother rat, and the mother had like 12 babies, and they broke the mother's leg, but 4 of the babies they took into another building, so they never knew the mother's leg had been broken. They never knew that the mother's leg was being repaired. They knew nothing. 4 of the other babies saw the mother's leg being broken. The other 4 babies were taken into the other room. They never saw the leg being broken, but they did see the leg healing. A few weeks later, they bring them all back together, and every rat that they stroked the leg, the same leg, or the same front leg of the leg that they broke in the mother, no matter what rat they stroked that leg in, they would scream in pain. Edna, anywhere where you have transmuted pain for your family, are you willing to let go of that now? or anywhere where you were taught that you had to take on others' pain in order to change it and not have them themselves change it, can you let go of that now? This is generational pain from your father's side. Believe me, I know your father's side. Okay, that was okay. Things will change dramatically for you in the next 30 days. In a very, very good way. Okay, who's next?
John's on next.
John? And then Mindy, right?
Yep, John and Mindy.
John and Mindy, okay. And Lana says that she would love to meet you. And so Lana lives in Sandpoint. I know you guys live in Spokane. Lana would have some amazing stories, a different perspective, because her mom and dad ended up well, raising my older brother, which was your dad. For those of you on the show, I know this sounds like a soap opera. I apologize, but I think it's really important. Okay. Okay, who's next?
John.
Okay, John. John, as I said, sent some amazing pictures of baby antelope. Okay, so John, it's okay to ask for directions. You know the stories, they're called fables, or where a woman's driving along and the guy just keeps driving and driving and driving. She's like, "Honey, we should stop and look at the map. You know, are we gonna try?" No, no, no. I know the direction. I know the way. Anywhere where you've taken on, where you've had to know the way, are you willing to let go of that in any way, shape, or form? And trust this guidance. And notice when you're making snap decisions or emotional decisions. Notice when there's an emotional charge behind that. It's not about the event. It's about what was triggered in you, and being open to allowing that to come up. We talked about the crap in the basement, allowing that to come up and out. Two, it's about this is lost in space. This is about taking more pictures of the Milky Way, or being out under the sky, under the stars, knowing you're an integral part of space. Every one of us, every one of you is an integral part of this place, this time, now on Earth. Fill it, use it, expand it, grow it. Okay.
Mindy.
Okay, Mindy. Girl, you're one of the most magical people I've ever met. Melinda, this is the magician's sword. It's not what you create. It's the energy that you put behind it that I can feel. When you send me those pictures of the art that you do, I get chills. They're fanciful, they're childlike, and they bring people back to their essence of who they really are. That's your gift. This is your are you willing to fully have extreme confidence in your magic? And I'm going to ask everybody on the show that. Are you willing? Kenan, Marilyn, Lana, John, Lindsay, everybody. Are you willing to have that confidence in your magic? You are magical. You are absolutely magical. Thank you for being here and for pulling that card. That is amazing. Okay.
Great. And Scott's bringing it on home.
Ambrosi, right? Okay. Thanks for being here, Scott. One of your major power animal spirits is the dragonfly. Surrender to the transformation and be free of letting go of how it has to work out or what you should do. It's all coming together for you. This is just letting go and surrendering. If you've ever ridden in a self-driving Uber car, oh no, I have to control. This is you surrendering to the process. It's all about letting go if you're being robbed and your life is threatened, you surrender the money because you can always get that money back. It's what your life is what's important. This is surrendering to a new way of being. Absolutely surrender. It's not a new way of being. It's the real Scott. It's getting back to your essence and why you're here. And as you do that, it's surrendering to the metamorphosis. Wow. Do we have everyone? Did I get everybody? I don't know if you guys felt this tonight, but man, like Lana said, this was powerful. Thank you for allowing both of us, Kenan and I, to be able to do this for you. Because this is a huge contribution. When you're here on the show and I pull a card for you, but your card has, or your message has such an impactful meaning for someone else on the show, it's important. And all of us are playing a vital role in this. So great blessings to you. We'll do this again Wednesday night. I love you all very, very much. Have a great night.